Hello everybody and welcome to today's video where we'll be discussing the developer update released for Dead by Daylight. In their update they addressed their plans to fix several issues plaguing the game. Today I'll summarize the topics and provide my opinion on how they will affect the game and whether or not we can expect it to remedy the current state of the game. Link to the forum post in the description. To start, they addressed the infinite loading screen issues for many players. For now, they've only found a partial cause to the issue, meaning they don't know why the loading screen gets stuck in an infinite loop. This means we shouldn't be expecting a fix for the issue soon, but they are adding additional debug information to narrow down the causes in the mid-chapter update. Truthfully, this is possibly one of the more common causes to issues not being fixed in what the community would consider a timely manner. The developers may be aware of a situation, but this does not give them the foresight of Odin. Pinpointing what exactly causes the issue takes massive time depending on where the issue stems from, so we can expect that once they get the debug in, they may be able to find the cause, which then allows them to find a way to fix it. This, however, leaves us with the issue up till the mid-chapter patch, and we don't know how long until they find the fix. Next issue was with the less than 5 players per game. As we addressed in the Tide Talk covering the current state of the game, players crashing, disconnecting, or several events cause the game to usually become a 3v1 or less. The developers have been made aware of this situation and are releasing a fix to ease the pain. When the next mid-chapter patch is released, the game will check if all players have loaded in. If not, then all players will be returned to the end game screen, keeping all items, offerings, and anything for that match, and will be notified the game was instead cancelled. This truthfully sounds great, but we have to be sure that something like this can't be abused. There's even a chance that with so many games being 3 vs 1, it might be harder to actually get into a game to play. Personally, for me, I still like to play out the 3v1s to see what I could do and how much blood points I can get. Being kicked out to have to find another game will just waste a lot more time, as I just kind of want to build up blood points for whatever I'm working for. Depending on how you're playing, it could either be a good or bad thing, and that will vary person to person. It might not affect you, but it might affect certain players who just want to get into a game regardless of the outcome. Matchmaking was also addressed, as they've completely reverted all the matchmaking to the original matchmaking before they had made the changes. Based on the data for the developers, the ping time was improved, but it caused larger rank disparity and longer wait times, which gave them reason to revert it. They'll be revisiting the matchmaking until they get something that works for everybody. Emblem system and pips was also addressed, as they state they made the changes to better reflect skill level. Player feedback has been divided on the adjustment, and they've made a hotfix and will be monitoring the community feedback. If you're not aware, the hotfix was patched in, essentially just reducing the requirements to pip up by 1 or 2 depending on what pip range we're talking about, whether it be red, purple, or green ranks. This is actually pretty important because the player base being divided makes it difficult for the developers to make a proper change. Developers are making changes based on our feedback, which means if we say we like it and hate it, it becomes difficult for them to judge what is the right course of action. And being that this system does not reward skill and it's more based on luck, it's hard to really say that keeping this system's a good idea. I've been calling out for change, and I've seen several people also call for change, as I don't like to load into a game and feel that I have to farm and check this list off to be considered skillful, when it takes no skills to sit behind a killer and just stand there for a brief moment because I need enough chaser, or if I never saw the killer all game, but I got all the doors open and I don't pip, it's just a bit silly. If no one on my team goes down or takes any damage for whatever reason, you're just punished for it, and unless you're there to make the heals, it just falls on whether everything lines up for you to get the pip. You can always safety, sure, but why would I want to tie when I did well in the game? Gen jockeys who do their job should be rewarded just as those who play as bait. And not everybody is going to always be able to show skill that allows them to cover every category. And I think the emblem system should be revisited for this, and that's where I'll leave it. It's a pretty in-depth topic, but if we really want that type of change, we all have to agree, or at least majority of us do. We have to show the developers that we agree this does not work. We may like where this is going, we may want rank 1 harder to get to, but we have to make sure that we all agree on a way so the developers take that path and we're all happy. But of course, if not everybody agrees on it, then someone's going to have to speak up and come with an idea that we all agree on. Along with addressing the health issues of the game, they also announced upcoming updates. Dedicated servers will be tested on the PTB first and then integrated slowly to ensure a smooth transition in the summer of 2019. A Legion update was announced that they will be changing the Legion just a bit, but they'll be announcing those changes via a blog post next week, so we'll know what it is then. This is all the information we have now. In the mid-chapter patch, there will be a major update to the game. They're calling this the endgame collapse, to make the endgame more dynamic and exciting. Personally, this is an exciting change, because it's meant to remove the dreaded hatch standoff and the survivors just waiting around at exit gates or dilly-dallying and teasing the killer. No idea what they have planned, but let's hope it breathes some life into the endgame, as that has always been an abysmal and dreadful period of the game. Freddy rework was also brought up again, as they intend to make changes to Freddy as they've stated since February of 2017. Freddy will have a full gameplay overhaul and is one of the most complex reworks they've done, which is actually pretty exciting because this was something I recommended a long time ago. I've always said that the way that Freddy works just wasn't going to cut it and he'd need a full rework. They're going to give more information on this next month, and that excites me the most. I believe they've been holding off on the Freddy rework since Freddy is considered an endgame killer. His perks heavily affect the final moments, and his power to reign supreme at the end, preventing players from opening doors, was just how it worked. He did have some mid-game interruption, but it worked best for those doors. They're likely going to keep this aspect of Freddy and allow his perks and powers to interact well with the late game, while also interrupting the mid-game. I'm very excited to see what they change, but first we'll have to see what this collapsing endgame is all about. I'm excited for the changes, but how will they really affect the game? As far as the health issues are concerned, it seems they can't snuff out the major problems affecting the game, but they can give us a small band-aid fix to just make the game more tolerable to play on a day-by-day basis. But we will still be plagued with the 3v1s that will be returning us to lobbies often, since that fix is, unfortunately, delayed. There's a lot coming up in the mid-chapter patch, but this means we shouldn't expect a hotfix to come anytime soon. If you want to see when those fixes are coming, we'll likely see the PTB about a week or two before the fixes are actually implemented live. And that covers just about everything. Thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and as always, good game.